Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel, From Fertility to Delivery. Today we are 34 and a half weeks pregnant. Just a little update, and baby boy is definitely growing and pushing. Full on third trimester. Pretty much tired all the time, but we're making it happen. Today I wanted to talk about Pitocin versus Oxytocin. What they are, when they're used, why they're used, and give you a heads up on the knowledge that most women may or may not know when they walk into their delivery room for the actual delivery date. So what is oxytocin? Oxytocin is known as the love hormone. It doesn't just come around during the labor and delivery process. It's there during Valentine's Day and your wedding day and that first date. It's that love hormone that's produced in the pituitary gland in the brain, and then it connects to actual cell receptors in the brain to increase that height and flight of yummy, juicy love. The other part of it that is huge is that it's actually used during labor and delivery to expand your cervical area to get from 1 centimeter dilated to 10 centimeters dilated, and allow the baby to actually open up from that womb, get down into the vaginal canal, and actually have that vaginal birth that either you're looking to have or that you want. It also helps with contractions, and the reason it's helping with all of this is because your body's producing it, and also it is flourishing, and it is actually becoming more, you're producing more when you're in a less fearful, more loving, more open, more receptive environment mentally. Because again, it is produced in the brain, so it's actually happening in the brain. One of the things that really helps you is staying away from that fear, tension, pain cycle and using it to its benefit. And we'll go into that a little bit more later. But let's talk about Pitocin. What is Pitocin? Well, we had to have some sort of synthetic version of oxytocin, and that's basically what it is. Created, man-made, and it does assist with inducing labor and also contracting the uterus. Those are the two big main reasons that a healthcare professional would offer you Pitocin or utilize Pitocin during your labor and delivery process. What Pitocin does, because it's helping you contract, it's also happening on a synthetic level. So it's actually, it really does need to be controlled. A lot of people use it. Why would you use Pitocin? Well, you want to induce your labor for whatever reason. There's some great health reasons that you would want to induce your labor. Gestational diabetes, complications with the birth, having preeclampsia. Those are some of the reasons. Just in general, the womb is not a safe place for the baby anymore, and that's always number one, no matter which avenue that you take. Yeah, that is always will be number one. There's some reasons to induce labor that are not medical. Your doctor, he or she's going out of town, and you're really close to your due date, and they just want to make sure they're there, so they schedule it. You're getting induced. Other reasons is maybe you're past your due date, you're at that 41, 42 week mark, and you just probably can't take it anymore, and you want to get things going. So no matter what the reason is, the Pitocin is used to get everything started. Now it's important to know about Pitocin because you don't want to know about it as you're in the labor and delivery room and they said, oh, okay, we're just going to give you something to help you get along with your labor. What does it really do? Well, because it's synthetic, it has to be controlled. So you really want to try to start at your lowest dosage possible because you don't really know what your body's going to do to handle it. Oxytocin's working and you're producing it, and it's all natural and it's produced by your body, so it's being regulated by itself. Pitocin needs to be manually regulated by your healthcare professional. So that, number one, is very important. The reason it needs to be regulated also is because it does create really strong contractions, stronger than oxytocin would. It also creates longer contractions, much longer than oxytocin would. So you're dealing with a synthetic product that you're introducing into your body, and you have to be able to know that you have control over it. Now, I'm not a healthcare professional, so these are some great questions for your healthcare professional as you start having questions about these products. I'm here to introduce them to you, make sure you know about them before your Labor Day, and so you're not blindsided by what these actually are. Going back to oxytocin, the reason it works so well is because you're also in a very relaxed environment. Now, I know most labors that are not planned and researched, and probably not taking a class, things like that, you don't know about what's happening in the process. So, and you know, a lot of women, they wing it, or they're so fearful of the pain and all the issues that they don't even talk about it or think about it. They just put themselves in the care of their healthcare professional, wishing for the best, not knowing what type of questions to ask. And then that day that you have your labor is not a love story. It's a crazy story that you don't ever want to really talk about again. We're trying to nip that in the bud to give you the information that you need today. When you have oxytocin working for you, it's working because of some pre-work you've done with regards to labor and delivery. Some of the best pre-work is hypnobirthing. As a practitioner with Blissborn, we go real deep into the actual fears of labor. Most of those fears are about pain. And also nipping all of those in the bud on a conscious and subconscious level so that you're not dealing with that on the actual day of your labor. You've already cleared the cobwebs out of your mind and you're ready and focused. And when you do all of that, everything aligns and you're actually able to open up and allow the oxytocin to work for you. And you're already producing it on your own, so it's very beneficial in general. Now, I'm not here to badmouth Pitocin. I actually needed Pitocin for our first delivery with our first son. After we had our natural birth with no epidural, no drugs, because of the hypnobirthing that I underwent, my uterus was not contracting quick enough, and that's actually called a boggy uterus. So I did need Pitocin. I needed a couple shots of Pitocin to actually help me get my uterus contracting so that I wouldn't bleed more and possibly hemorrhage, which is not something I wanted at all. Of course, we were in the hospital on our first birth, and it was offered gladly. So I think the nurses were actually excited to give me Pitocin because they weren't giving it to me before. But either way, it does help in certain situations. So know the situations, know what's going on, and know what you need. When it comes to your birth and the actual birthday of the baby, always keep in mind that only 5% of babies are born on their due date, but 100% of babies, they are born on their birth date. So that date is really important, and to push it along with a synthetic hormone, just think about it. Is that what you really want to do? Or do you want to do the work and connect with your baby on a spiritual, mental, subconscious level, co-creating that day together, making sure that it is what they want as well as what you need for everything that you're going through. Thank you for watching. I'm excited to help you out on this journey as a Blissborn educator. We have classes that'll be posted on my Facebook page, Instagram, and as I work on my website, it'll be there as well. But you, as of today, you can definitely find me on at From Fertility to Delivery for Instagram, Facebook as well, and you can email me from fertility to delivery at gmail.com. My phone number is also in the notes as well. I'd love to answer any questions for you and make sure that you have the labor and delivery that you are excited about to talk about the second time. Many blessings.